In the previous module, I showed you how you can set up your lead scoring funnel inside VBout. Now, the idea here is to get people from 1 to 100, where 100 is the ideal score for them to make a purchase decision. All of these are configurable, and you can access them from the left under Contacts, Lead Score, and on this view, you're going to see Leads, Statuses, and Score Rules. These are the 3 tabs you're going to be working with. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can add different scoring rules and how you can actually just look at the different dimensions of data. Inside the lead scoring framework we use, we always look at 3 main dimensions. The contact data. This is all the stuff that we gather on the leads, such as their personal data, their company information, address, preferences, any qualifying questions that you add to your forms, like annual revenues, maybe some date capture, etc., etc. There are some other items under the contact data. For example, when was the first engagement date that they did anything with your brand? The last time they engaged with your brand? What is their, if they have any tags? And that's really important. So I'll give you, I just want you to take a mental anchor on this because I'll come back to it. And also if they are part in different lists. The second dimension is the engagement dimension. This is where we can track people based on things they do on your website, right? They're visiting pages, spending a certain amount of time, watching videos, or if you're using our landing pages, things that they do there as well. The email engagement, like opening emails, clicking, bouncing. This is where we can do negative scoring. SMS engagement, browser push engagement. So if you have browser push activated, an amazing technology we provide in VBout, you can start scoring them here as well. If they've attended webinars and attendance time. This is a deep integration we have with Zoom and GoToWebinar. So if you have that set up, you can certainly get the scoring done on that. And then we have general filters, which are things like the device type, the operating system, the geolocation based on the IP that we detect, attribution like the UTM source, the campaign name, medium, and term. And then you have the referral source. This is if you haven't used UTMs, VBout have a referral source built into it. There is a 4th dimension, but we haven't really launched it, is the buying behavior based on what they bought, lifetime value, that sort of stuff. But in our case here, we're just going to focus on these first 3, the contact data, engagement, and general filters. Okay. Now in the marketing world, they group them in like slightly different way. They refer to them as geographic, demographic, psychographic, behavioral, and firmographic details. So this is like the marketing talk. And in this document, I have a lot more sheets that you can discover, like take an inventory of the pages that people visit and what score to associate with each. Let's go ahead and start setting some things up on VBout. So from the left under Contacts, I'm going to click on Lead Score. And by default, I have some things already built. So these come by default with the account. Things like if somebody opened any email campaign, regardless if it's a newsletter or automation email, we're adding 5 points. If they clicked on a link, we're adding 10 points. I feel like it's a bit high, so I will go ahead and modify that. And that's exactly what I would like you to do, is to take this approach of, this is for me, I need it to work the way that I want. Okay. If somebody hard bounces over email or soft bounce or unsubscribe, we're gonna give them a -5, deducting from their profile. I have it set up to be a sample list, but it might be wise to do unsubscribing from any list. Now, how much we score and what is the average is really up to you. The rule of thumb here is not to score people too fast, too quickly, so they're not getting to 100 and they're still in the early stages of discovery. And on the other hand, not to score them too slow for too long, because then you're going to have someone who's ready to buy, but they're stuck in an early stage. So it's a little bit of guesstimating, I would say, and a little bit of experience, of course. Now, from the top right, I can add additional scores. And here are some of the stuff that I just discussed in the framework. You have the contact data, field values, what people filled out on the forms. For example, we created the master list, if you recall, and maybe they answered, when would you like to start the service? And they want it before, I don't know, let's say the end of the month. So if that's the case, I can give people a score of 10 because I want to accelerate their scoring process. Now you're going to notice I have an anonymous scoring here, which is turned off. That means I can only score contacts for this particular condition, because obviously if someone is an anonymous, I don't know the answers to the forms they filled out. There's no form that they filled out anyways, okay? The repeat option, this probably applies for web visits and opening emails and stuff, where you, for every match of the same exact rule, you're reapplying that score over and over, okay? I would be careful with this, just so you don't really do things too often. But perhaps some pages like pricing, registration pages, and filling out forms could be scored multiple times. And add. Very easy. It appeared right here. I can go ahead and edit it and can remove it and so on. The other thing that I mentioned is tagging. And this is really powerful because I can create my own tags in VBout and then score people accordingly the moment they have that tag added. So I can have my contact score, if they booked a demo tag, as additional 20 points. And that one as well doesn't allow anonymous scoring. So if I'm to show you how you can manage tags, they're really dynamic in the sense where I can go to any email right now. Let's say Rich. And on the right side, I can say, I can attach a tag. Picture it as a label that you're adding to a profile. So note I have a score of 0 now, but if I attach the booked demo, you see it right here, I'm going to have, in the next few minutes, my score being updated. Maybe I can create my own tags on the go, things like VIP bucket. I can add maybe clients. So think of a label as just this dynamic entity where you can do tagging based on product interest, a client category, maybe some actions that they've done, and so on. Okay? Or you can do something like add 5, which is a custom score that I can use on the go. All right? Now, I already created these in the system. The moment I type them here, I can always go back to lead scoring, add score, and right on this view, now by choosing the tag name, I'm going to see that all of these have been added. So if someone is a VIP, perhaps I should add 50, right? Like push them even higher. So there's quite of creativity you can do with tagging. I'm just going to set up one more here because I'll come back to it in another session. I can create a custom add 5, which simply adds 5 to the profile. This will come really handy once we do automations, because at a certain part of the journey, you can say, now I would like to add 5 points to their profile, and that will serve exactly that. I will skip through the rest real quick. Website visits, this one is the most popular, so you can do things like, if somebody visits my main page, that's all you have to do, just put that slash. I do this all the time, and I give them a very low score if they're contacts and a low score if they're anonymous. And note, I didn't repeat this action, okay? This particular score point literally pushes every single visitor into your scoring process. Now I can add a whole lot more. For example, destination URL, lead buffer, slash, I'm just going to make up a page here, contact, and here I'll give them maybe 5 because it's a little bit more relevant. And why not if they filled out a form, joined list? Maybe I have my own contact us form, Expo 2020. I'll give them a 20-point score. Okay. There's a lot more to it, like duration spent, more than, let's say, 2 minutes or 1 minute, because people have the attention span of a goldfish. So any minute spent, I think, is very valuable, right? And perhaps we'll give them 2-point score. You see, it's not too high. I really recommend you go over the entire drop down because we have a lot. This is gonna really apply to your own business and take it pretty much a playground for you to set it and forget it. Because moving forward, what's gonna happen is you're gonna log in, and every single contact in the database is going to have an associated score. And also on this view of all contacts, you see how now I have a 20-point score? I'm in the discovery phase. That's because I added that tag to my profile. So this is how you can set up your lead scoring, an amazing functionality that you can leverage for yourself or for your clients.